Well, good morning. Do we have any visitors this morning? From where? Armac. Where's that?
It's just a little bit east of Blairstown.
Okay, welcome. Anybody else? Today in the gospel, as Jesus progresses along this post-resurrection time, he describes himself this morning in the gospel as the Good Shepherd. Now, to understand what that means, we have to kind of take those two words apart. First of all, I think we have a general understanding of what good is. Good is the opposite of bad, okay? So you can be a good or a bad anything. You can be a good plumber, you can be a bad plumber, which means if you're a bad plumber, you're inefficient, you don't pay attention to your work, your pipes leak, and things aren't real good. If you're a good plumber, everything is done according to code, everything is done properly, everything is done the way it should be done. Now, Jesus describes himself as the Good Shepherd. Now, to understand what that means, we have to kind of understand what it means in Jesus' time, even up to today in that area, what it means to be a shepherd. A shepherd is one who takes care of sheep and who owns them himself. He's not a hired hand. He's not a herdsman. He is a shepherd. And so his livelihood depends on these animals. And it's a symbiotic relationship. If you remember from your high school biology what symbiosis is, do you remember? Sure you do. Symbiosis, oh, your teachers would be so proud of you. Symbiosis means that you take something from me and I give something to you, like the flies on a cow, okay? The flies get something from that, the cows get something from that. Symbiosis, okay? There's a give and a take. Well, in the life of a shepherd and his sheep, there is a constant give and take. First of all, shepherding is a very lonely life, and so there's a sense of companionship. Many shepherds have become poets and writers of song, inspired by the various movements of the herd, inspired by the various events within the herd. That the herd is a living organism in a sense. It's just like any other group, like us. Sheep give birth, sheep die, and sheep fight with each other. Okay, sounds like the parish, right? And that's probably why Jesus chose this image. Now, what is the shepherd's role in this little community? And the shepherd's role is to lead, to take the herd away from danger, to protect the herd from those that would attack it, to keep the herd from being stolen, and to lead it to water and to fertile ground where it can feed. Now, in return for that service, the shepherd receives not only the companionship in this rather lonely life of having sheep around him, but he also receives from them a profit by selling the wool. He receives from the sheep enough wool to make his own clothing. He receives from the sheep food as they're slaughtered for use. He receives from the sheep a sense that of belonging and a sense of fulfilling his duty. So Jesus says, I'm the good shepherd. And he makes it very clear that in the role of a shepherd, that when there's difficulty, he doesn't leave us. And so he describes for us what his relationship will be with us. We get ourselves in trouble, he doesn't leave us. When we get ourselves in trouble, he doesn't leave us. When we get ourselves in trouble, he doesn't desert us. A hard person would, but only the shepherd, the one who owns the sheep, the one who depends on the sheep, the one who, in fact, is the one who brings life to the sheep and keeps life, sustains life. That person, that good shepherd, will not leave us. So in our lives, there are times where we feel abandoned. There are times that we feel alone. There are few times that our frustration builds up so high that we kind of lose sight of the fact that the Good Shepherd walks with us. Now, in turn, for a good shepherd to be a good shepherd, the sheep have to be cooperative, right? Now, I always ask, and this is First Communion weekend, and this is the gospel for the first communicants this weekend, and I always ask them, what is a shepherd who has no sheep? You know what the answer is? Unemployed. So what happens is, if we are not the sheep, if we are not molded to the goodness of the Good Shepherd, if we do not accept Jesus as the Good Shepherd, then Jesus is unemployed. If we do not, in fact, direct our life according to the teachings of Jesus, if the Good Shepherd says, don't go here, and we go there anyway, we are not conforming ourselves to the wisdom and to the protection of the Good Shepherd. And we do that all the time. That's called sin. That's why there's confession. And so today, as we reflect on this day and we hear about the Good Shepherd, I direct your thoughts to the first reading from the book of the Acts of the Apostles that says this: there is no salvation through anyone else, but there is any other name, nor is there any other name under heaven given to the human race by which we are to be saved. There is no other shepherd. Everything else that you think that will lead you to salvation is a false shepherd. Everything else that you think will bring you joy is not there. So no matter what you can connect yourself to, whether it's your favorite pair of fuzzy slippers, that I can't live without that, I can't live without my favorite pillow, or whether it's I can't live without a particular sports event, or I can't live without a particular amount of money, all of that is foolishness. Because there's only one thing that can save us, and that is Jesus. The only name under heaven that has claimed to be God amongst us. So as you and I pray today, let us think about the sheep and the shepherd, that it's a relationship. He gets something, we get something. The relationship between the sheep and the shepherd, that if we pay attention, we will be safe. If we pay attention, we will be well fed. If we pay attention, we will contribute something to the welfare of others. The Good Shepherd. He hasn't come here to hurt us, and he will never leave us. What a wonderful relationship, and what a wonderful image of our God. He wants to be part of our lives. He wants to lead us. And so there's a symbiosis. He protects us. He cares for us. He never leaves us, even in time of trouble. And we offer him our companionship. We offer him our love. We offer him our dependency, so that together we, as a people, and he as our God, will lead us to salvation. Think about that image today, that Jesus is the Good Shepherd. Be at peace.